Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Trebas Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. California's Department of Justice filed a lawsuit against El Cajon today over its controversial license plate surveillance program. Attorney General Rob Bonta claims the city is violating state law by sharing data with out-of-state police departments. KPBS reporter Gustavo Solis has the story.
Under state law, police departments are prohibited from sharing data from their license plate reader systems with law enforcement agencies outside of California.
ALPR systems can collect and store location information that reveals where people live, where they work, where they worship, where they seek medical care, shop, travel, and spend time with family and friends.
Attorney General Rob Bonta says there's a good reason for that law. When this sensitive information is shared outside of California, the state has no control over how it's being used. He says other states could share that data with the federal government and help them search for immigrants. In a press conference, Bonta said El Cajon is the only police department in the entire state currently sharing license plate reader data with out-of-state agencies. His office has spent more than a year trying to get El Cajon to comply with state law.
When a law enforcement agency deliberately and stubbornly refuses to follow the law, that is a problem. And thus we are here because of El Cajon's refusal to follow the law. We're hauling them into court to get them in compliance.
Bonta says the real victims here are the people of El Cajon.
My heart goes out to the people of El Cajon whose information is being improperly surveilled and shared. They deserve better. They deserve better from their police department. They deserve better from their city leaders. They deserve better from their mayor.
The city of El Cajon did not respond to a request for comment. El Cajon Police Chief Jeremiah Larson previously told KPBS that he believes sharing this data outside of California makes El Cajon safer. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.
Chula Vista is joining the growing number of cities across the country using new artificial intelligence tools to write their police reports. KPBS South Bay reporter Corey Suzuki says critics are worried the tools will make their work less transparent.
The program is called Draft One. Last week, the Chula Vista City Council voted unanimously to purchase it from Axon. The company sells body cameras and tasers to departments across the country. The city will spend almost $1 million on the AI tools over the next 4 years. Chula Vista police are pitching the AI software as a time-saving move. They claim it will free up officers to handle other casework more quickly. Assistant Police Chief Dan Peake.
Our officers are still accountable for everything they put in this police report leading up to testimony in court.
But privacy and civil rights advocates say the program raises new questions about the reliability of police reports. Matthew Gariglia is with the Electronic Frontier Foundation.
The judge or the prosecutor doesn't know which portions were written by the AI and which portions were written by the officer. It interjects a lot of uncertainty.
Police in Chula Vista have historically been among the first to start using advanced tools like drones and automated license plate readers for law enforcement. Meanwhile, California is considering new regulations on the use of AI in policing. State lawmakers approved a bill last month that would require new safeguards when police use programs like Draft One. California Governor Gavin Newsom has until mid-October to decide whether to sign it. Corey Suzuki, KPBS News.
The onshore push continues tonight, which means it'll be a little bit breezy in spots, but also, despite having that moisture coming in, there's not going to be a lot of clouds out there. 61 for the low as we move through tonight. And the temperatures, they're going to stay on the cooler side. I'll have that full forecast coming up.
The federal government remains shut down as a deadlocked Congress still hasn't reached a funding deal. The Trump administration has signaled thousands of government layoffs could begin soon, and officials say the White House has already compiled a list of agencies to target for cuts. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook reports.
The arguments remain the same. Republicans are still pushing for essentially an extension of current funding levels on a short-term basis. And Democrats continue to focus on health care, calling to extend enhanced Obamacare subsidies set to expire at the end of the year. As the stalemate continues on Capitol Hill, so does the blame game.
Unfortunately, Republicans have shown zero interest in even having a conversation.
Republicans are being responsible. We're operating in good faith, and we're trying to get the Democrats to do their job, and they won't.
The stakes are high. As the Trump administration has made it clear, they see the shutdown as an opportunity to shrink the size of the federal government, threatening thousands of layoffs. Now, this step could be seen as a tactic to get Democrats to agree to their funding plan without concessions.
Their discussions continue between the Office of Management and Budget and cabinet agencies across the board, and they are actively identifying where these cuts and these layoffs have to be made.
During the government shutdown, the president and lawmakers do continue to get paid, but hundreds of thousands of federal workers do not. And while many of them are still working during this time frame, they don't know when they'll see their next paycheck. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Friday was supposed to bring the government's latest jobs report, but the government shutdown delayed that release. Now, as Karen Kafer reports, businesses, job hunters, and investors are without that insight at a crucial time.
In the midst of a government shutdown on Friday morning, the latest government employment data was a mystery even to U.S. Labor Secretary Lori Chavez DeRemer.
Usually we get the reports the day before, and I haven't seen that for this month.
The delay of the release of the September jobs report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics means Wall Street investors, Main Street businesses, and consumers have one less piece of the economic puzzle to make important financial decisions.
It's not like all the data goes away, but it's certainly one source that a lot of people pay attention to could be quite delayed.
One private data source, the ADP payroll report released Wednesday, estimated the private sector lost 32,000 jobs during September. With healthcare and education adding jobs, most other sectors slumping, and small businesses with fewer than 50 employees shedding more jobs than larger companies.
There's been this wait and see from employers in terms of whether they're going to hire. We've seen a number of employers, for other reasons, decide that they are going to contract their workforces, and so we're seeing those announcements as well.
If a shutdown drags on and continues to stall the release of future economic reports, the Federal Reserve could be without key data when they meet for their next move on interest rates at the end of the month. In Washington, Karen Kafer, KPBS News.
Soon, Californians will weigh in on the nationwide redistricting battle. Voters will begin receiving ballots for the November special election in the mail this weekend. Proposition 50 promises to redraw California's congressional maps, a move supporters say would counter Republican gerrymandering in Texas and set a national example. But critics argue that using 5-year-old census data could lead to votes in some districts becoming unequal.
The goal of having equal congressional districts is that each vote is equal. And for example, if you had District A with a population of 1,000 and District B with a population of 500, the value of the votes in District A would be diminished and the value of the votes in District B would be enhanced.
Laura Halgren, a retired Superior Court judge, also told our media partner KGTV that Prop 50 will likely face several legal challenges if it is approved by voters. Those challenges range from constitutional violations to procedural problems. Supporters counter, saying the measure amends the state constitution, and courts rarely overturn voter-approved constitutional amendments.
I'm Jeff Bennett. Tonight on the NewsHour, Hamas agrees to part of President Trump's peace plan for Gaza. That's at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
When you suffer from mental illness, sometimes counseling and medication are not enough. And for those, especially people with depression, an answer can be found in brain stimulation. KPBS SciTech reporter Thomas Fudge tells us about a treatment called TMS.
When Catherine Unetti was a little girl growing up in San Diego, she spent a lot of time crying, especially when she was in school.
There's this one art project in the first grade that I still remember where I broke down crying. We had to tear pieces of paper to make penguins, and I couldn't get the shapes to be like uniformed, and I hated it.
What she calls her crying fits continued, and she was prescribed medication for depression while still a child. Now an adult, she became a mom about a year ago. She says her postpartum depression was practically unbearable. She remembers get-togethers with other moms who'd given birth at about the same time.
And so they would be saying all these things they were doing with their kids, and I was like, I can barely get up and out of bed to do anything with them, to do anything with him. And I thought I was failing at it. I thought I was failing as a wife because I couldn't really interact with my husband without snapping or just saying, I'm exhausted, I want to go to sleep.
For people like Catherine, there's hope in something called TMS, which stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. It's one of a handful of treatments for patients who can't find relief in pills and counseling. UCSD professor Corey Weissman says in TMS they apply what he calls a coil to a person's scalp. It creates a magnetic field that enters the brain, stimulating neurons. Treatment takes place at a clinic, sometimes over the course of several weeks. Weissman says they aren't quite sure why it works, but they know that it does. The treatment's response rate, where there's at least a 50% improvement, is seen in up to 60% of patients.
So most people get somewhat better, and then about a third of people get what we call remission, which is all the way better, so full resolution of their depression.
Unetic says wearing the coil was kind of like wearing a helmet.
It produces little shock waves.
Can you feel them on your scalp? I mean, when it's working?
Oh yeah, you can feel it and you can hear it. So they'll give you headphones because some people don't like the sound. You can still hear it, it's just a little bit more muffled. But it's like a little zit, zit, zit.
TMS doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for Unetic.
So the first couple of days, I had an intense amount of energy. But it was just amazing just to feel happy and elevated in mood. It was just amazing. I've never felt like that before.
TMS is one example of interventional brain medicine, fast-acting treatments for people who are treatment-resistant. Another example for severe depression is what used to be called shock therapy, now called electroconvulsive therapy. It's been around for about 80 years, and it remains in use because it can be very effective. Weissman says UC San Diego is doing research to learn why stimulating some neural networks in the brain helps people with depression.
There's a lot of imaging studies, and we're doing a number of these studies at UCSD trying to tease apart how individuals' brains at baseline are different than those who don't have depression or other conditions, and how the TMS changes how their brains are functioning afterwards.
UCSD is also involved in clinical trials to find out if TMS can help cure bipolar disorder or anorexia. Lincoln Fish is the CEO of a company called Neurabello that provides interventional medicine like TMS. He says one of his success stories came from treating a retired Marine colonel named Ben who suffered depression and PTSD. Fish says treating Ben's depression made him a different person.
He all of a sudden, and this is from a military guy, has trouble swearing. He said he didn't realize it, but he's so used to, dropping F-bombs and things because he's a military guy and all that. And he said all of a sudden he'd start to, and then he just couldn't do it. And he said something different.
For Catherine, Unetic, treating her depression has allowed her to enjoy her 1-year-old boy as he plays games and learns to take a few steps.
He's super cute. He smiles a lot, and he's always laughing. I adore him.
For all its advantages, TMS is not cheap. Unetic says she couldn't have done it if her insurance had not covered it. But, Weissman says, if you look at a cost-benefit analysis, it can be a lot cheaper than lingering in a depressed, disabled state for years or even decades. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
Test scores at San Diego Unified School District are among the best in California. State Superintendent Tony Thurmond visited Burbank Elementary today to recognize the district as a leader in statewide test scores. He says San Diego Unified is #1 in 4th grade and 8th grade literacy and math. The principal of Burbank Elementary told our media partner KGTV that they identified key barriers holding students back.
What we were noticing is the connection to the literacy.
Many of our math problems, our math work is related to reading problems. We began to work around what it is that the students needed.
The state superintendent's Move the Needle initiative has been directing money and strategies toward helping students at risk of falling behind. Wheelchair dancers from the Dynamic Inclusive Dance Program will perform at their 17th annual showcase this weekend. KPBS arts reporter Audie McAfee takes us to their rehearsal.
At the Parc de la Cruz gym, performers rehearse for their biggest event of the year, the Shine and Soar Fundraiser Showcase. Wheelchair dancing is also known as seated dancing. The Dynamic Inclusive Dance Program is an extension of the Wheelchair Dancers Organization, which has offered movement opportunities for people of all ages and abilities since 2008. This is the 17th year of the fundraiser, and this is their second to last rehearsal before the weekend's big show. Beverly Wording founded the Wheelchair Dancers Organization. She says the showcase touches everyone involved.
It's a beautiful showcase. We're very fortunate to have so many talented people that are coming forward, whether they are 5 years old or my age, which is a very, very senior. We do it. We love it, and there's so much gratification. And we have a beautiful audience.
1 in 4 people in the United States have a disability, according to the CDC, leaving millions without the same physical opportunities as their peers. Jason Rivers has been teaching with the program for 9 years. He says the showcase gives dancers a chance to grow in ways that might not otherwise be possible.
For them to be able to get up on stage and perform in front of a crowd is just, I just think something that doesn't get, it's just not available to people very often. So I think it's just super special to have that opportunity to be able to get out and perform.
The showcase sells out each year, drawing about 200 people according to Rivers. The show features more than 19 performances in a wide range of dance styles. The nonprofit has been preparing since January. Among the dancers is Stephanie Nichols-Rodas, who is also a Wheelchair Dancers Organization board member.
And I'm the kind of person that when you hear music, you just move, you just move around. So when that was taken away from me, I was like, I'm never going to do that again. And I'm never going to have the opportunity to do it with my husband again and dance and all these amazing experiences.
That changed when she started taking classes and met Wording. Rodas says she discovered a new love for dance.
It just inspires me. Like dancing just makes my whole body feel involved. It feels like light inside me. It feels like, I don't like to use the word normal because what's normal these days, but it just makes me feel that I can do everything that I can put my mind on. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how it looks. It matters to me how it feels and what I can show out there. And at the end of the day, that's everything that matters.
Rodas advises to push past fear.
What I've learned is that if you don't show up, somebody's missing out of what you have to say. And you can't let that happen because it's just going to happen until you show up. So just show up. If you have it in your mind, show up. If you want to do it, just do it. Even if you're having a bad day, it will make it better.
The Shine and Soar Fundraiser Showcase takes place Sunday, October 5th from noon to 3 p.m. at the Champion Ballroom Academy. Tickets start at $15. Audie McAfee, KPBS News.
And for more stories about the arts in San Diego, you can check out The Finest. The KPBS podcast captures the people, art, and movements redefining our region's cultural identity. You can listen now at kpbs.org/thefinest or wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, as we head through the upcoming hours, keep in mind the onshore flow is still coming through for us, so it is going to be a pretty breezy at times in some locations going through the overnight hours. However, we do keep things cool, and despite that onshore flow, there's not going to be as many marine clouds sticking around for us just through tonight. Getting into the weekend, the numbers stay down for us in many locations. And as we talk about going into next week, we will have to watch the tropics. There is some potential for more moisture, some more rainfall to come towards us. It's beyond the 5-day forecast, so it's just something to keep an eye on. It's not a given. It's not even a definite. We're just looking down the road to that possibility of something happening. As we take you through tonight, though, you can see still pretty quiet around the region here. 58 for the low in Chula Vista, but if you're in the city, we're at 61. A couple of clouds out there, but not nearly as widespread as we could see them this time of year. Mount Laguna coming down to 45. Getting into tomorrow, the cold front comes through, but we don't fully realize that new shot of cooler air. It takes some time to develop. So I think for a lot of us, the afternoon temperatures will still cap up pretty well. 74 for the high as we look towards the city, 75 in Oceanside, Ramona coming in at 80 degrees, and Borrego Springs coming in at 89. However, this is still, most of us, a little below historical average as far as temperatures are concerned, and we drop off just a shade as we head into Sunday with that cooler air mass coming through. Beyond that then, still keeping things largely dry as we go through the upcoming week. It's going to be Thursday, Friday if we would see some extra clouds. You can start to see that arrive Wednesday into some of our inland communities, so we'll see how much moisture could be cooled in from the tropics at this point. Still very questionable. And as we work our way into the mountain communities, notice the lowest number there, 56 for your Sunday and Monday. And then after that, we start to see those temperatures climb a little bit more. We will warm up towards the end of next week, no matter what, even as we bring in some of that moisture. For KPBS News, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Melissa Constanzer.
Be sure to join us tonight for KPBS News This Week, where we revisit the most impactful and the most intriguing original reporting of the week. This Week airs every Friday at 8:30 right here on KPBS. Ever wonder what it takes to scare people at a haunted attraction? KPBS arts reporter and home haunter Beth Accomando took a graveyard shift at the haunted trail in Balboa Park to find the answer.
Last week, this graveyard was my domain as I checked off a bucket list item, being a scare actor at the haunted trail in Balboa Park.
We like jump scares. Those are really the best. And they usually pop out of an area, or they could be a diversion tactic where they're kind of doing something that is strange.
Greg DeFott has been running the haunted trail for more than a quarter century. I asked what the key qualities are needed to be a scare actor or scare-actor.
Number one, energy. Well, no, take that back. Common sense would be number one. Then energy, and then a sense of timing.
So did I have what it takes to be a scare-actor?
And you know what? You've got the passion that it takes, and you are the perfect person to have as a guest star. Yes! Where do you have her?
So I have her in the graveyard. I figured that was a good spot.
Yeah.
Once my location was confirmed, it was off to makeup with artist Stuart Hirsch.
Today we're gonna have you in the graveyard, so I think we should, it's up to you, but we should do like a skull-like ghostly character.
You know, when you get in that makeup and wardrobe, you kind of lose yourself and you become someone else. And I think that is super appealing to people. And they come here and they just love it. It's a release.
And then I'm gonna give you an option, if you want blood or not.
Oh, yes please?
Okay.
Is that all right?
That's what I wanted to hear, actually.
Yes please. Hirsch and his fellow artists have to make up dozens of people in less than 2 hours every night.
Usually killing someone, like which side, how many maybe like, oh man, awesome.
Once made up and fitted in a bloodstained dress, I'm introduced to a legend on the trail, Patty Fay, who's been scaring folks for 33 years.
I don't know if it's a hobby. Therapy. That too. It is a job. It's hard work, and you have to be on spot all night long. But I love it. I love what I do.
Her advice to a newbie:
just find a nice spot to hide, never break character, and just go at it 100%. And if you get them, you get them. If you don't, oh well, you had fun. And enjoy scaring the bejeebies out of people.
I love scaring people. It is so much fun to be somebody else's nightmare and to hear the screams and experience what other people fear is so much fun.
Luca Dismukes is another fully committed character who went above and beyond to create her own costume. Each character develops his or her own style.
What I do is I wait. I wait right here. This is my spot. As I come around, I go, ah!
Okay, so I look for a good spot.
Oh, sitting next to one of the dead guys too is good. I get some black light here. I picked a good spot for my makeup, I think.
Okay, this looks like the perfect place to stage a particular kind of jump scare, known as a statue scare, where you pretend to be a lifeless prop. But of course you're not. As darkness falls, we gather for a rallying cry.
Let them know who we are!
I get into position and wait for the signal that the first group will be coming through. That's the cue. Then I worry I may not be scary enough, but Patty reassures me.
And don't get discouraged. And don't think, man, I didn't get this group. I'm losing my mojo or my technique or whatever. Every crowd is different. I just enjoy what I do. I'm my own entertainment back here.
So shaker can in hand, I lie in wait for the first group.
Here at the Haunted Trail, I'm Beth Accomando for KPBS News.
That is amazing, very spooky. And if you dare, you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Enjoy your evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, air, restoration, and flood services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following: and by viewers like you. Thank you.